Seren singing in the background. Right, good evening. We're on episode 71. It's Friday the 14th of October. I've written September in the thing. It's not. It's the 14th of October, not the 14th of September. Ha! That should catch everybody out. Where's this year going? Yes, it seems that I'm going backwards. So anyway, everybody's here, I think. Who have we got? Nick. Nick and I are dehydrator twins. Look at the new services. Had to be swapped out. The old one was, there's nothing wrong with it and it's still working, but just needed to have a little bit of a modern upgrade, I think it's fair to say. No, I saw it and I accidentally clicked. Might have added airbrushes too, but you know, don't tell anyone. Who else there? Mo's there. Hi, Mo. Zoa, hi, Paula. Antonio, Kelly, I can see you. How are you doing? I am really, really good. Fars, hello. Erin Polderman, how are you, Erin? That was, Erin, did you send me the thing with the wine? The, like, don't write. I think it was you, Erin, wasn't it? Is it you, Erin, that spilt the, I think it's blue or green? You have no idea. This week, so I had to melt some black and I put it in the bottle and I didn't put the lid on, and when I gave it a good shake, I've literally covered everything is covered in everything. There's 140 grams, but when you shake it and tip it out, there's like gallons of it. Yeah, that's my faux pas this week, and it was like out with the steam mop. And what I actually did, because I just spread black cocoa butter everywhere. So, but yeah, happy Friday, everybody. Maggie's going to join us in a bit if she's there somewhere. We'll just let a few people join first, Maggie, I think. So, hi Nadia, JC's there, Chrissy. God, it's a whole crew tonight. It is the full Chocolate Chat crew tonight. Phil Bakes is there. Hi, Phil. Phil, I didn't forget the message you sent me about airbrushing. We need to organise that one out. So, Kenneth is there. Chocolate Art UK. Lee's there. Hi, Lee. How are you? Hope everybody's had a good week. Is everybody having a good week? Everybody should be well and truly into... Everybody should be well and truly into chocolate making now. There should be Emma's there, ESC Chocolates. Emma was called Snickerdoodle. She's down there in Australia, and then she's changed it to ECS Chocolates. I reposted something she did today. Emma doesn't really post much of her chocolate. Emma should post more pictures of her chocolate because they are absolutely beautiful, elegant pieces. So. Stuart's there. Hi, Stuart from the Blind Chocolatier. He's probably at the pub. You're at the pub, Stuart. Who else is there? Where is that Maggie? Maggie, do you want to send me a... Maggie, do you want to send me a... what do they call it on here? Send me a join, and I'll click it for you. Charity's there. Hi, Charity. How are you? And Susie Floozy. Gosh, it's the whole Chocolate Chat crew tonight. How very, very cool. I'm trying to look at the number, but I can't see the number on there, so it's not important, is it? Everybody's here, so... Where's Maggie? Maggie, send me a... She's not, she's gonna ghost me, right? Is Maggie gonna ghost me? That's not big and it's not clever. Alright, here we go. There we go. I've clicked the button. Hi, Maggie. I thought you were going to ghost me then. It's like, oh, no, what are you doing? You sent me a message earlier saying, I've got a plan. It's like, oh, no, what's that going to be? How you doing?
I wouldn't ghost you. Absolutely not.
Nick will, because he's on next week, and I bet he does that. He's going to come up dressed in his, like, hat and truncheon and handcuffs and... Or is that...
I forgot about my hat. My hat's in the cupboard.
How are you? Did you drop your wedding chocolates off, all right?
I did, thank you.
They look really nice. Are you drawing the letters on, or are you using a stamp? What are you doing?
I'm kind of cheating. I've got a cricket machine, or a cry cut machine.
Cry cut. Nobody can pronounce it. one of those, the cutty out machines. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Ganduja. Nobody can pronounce it, so we just call it that nut filling, right? Oh, so you cut it out and then you spray on that afterwards, right?
Yeah, so depending on what I'm doing, so the ones I did for the weddings, the couple wanted their initials intertwined. That was a blinking sentence enhancing nightmare.
That sentence enhancing, yeah, I was going to say. But if you're sticking those in individually, that's going to take some time, right?
It does. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience.
I hope you're charging for that.
Oh, we certainly am.
Wedding market. Anyway, so for those, for anybody, well, for all the Chocolate Chat crew, everybody knows everybody. But for those that aren't, you're based up in Scotland. Business name is Marbellous.
Yep.
Chocolates. I did have some questions for you, and they've just gone completely out of my head now, so you're going to have to remind me. How long have you been going then?
So I started, well, I retired, so I'm a professional nurse, and I retired, unfortunately, due to ill health. And then COVID hit us, and darling husband, I love you to bits. I'm bored of your banter. I need something to do.
Right.
So I just started doing there was lots of people doing online courses. Yeah. So I just started doing it just for fun. And I was then sharing it out to friends and family. And they were like, I think you should do that as a business.
You went down the rabbit hole, right?
Nope, I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. Well, it has just went crazy. Yeah, manageably crazy. Like, I'm not going... Like, it's only going to be me, it's not going to be anybody else, because people say, do you want a shop? Nope. Do you want to have people working with you? Nope. None of that.
It's quite changed, isn't it? You were didn't you do neurolinguistics? Wasn't that your...
Yeah, so yeah. I did hypnotherapy and NLP training as well. So
right, yeah, neurolinguistics, yeah. So quite a check. So you must stand in the corner and tell yourself off occasionally, right?
Quite a lot.
And business is good. Obviously, you've gone from strength to strength this year. The rabbit hole of have you found it's got bigger and bigger and bigger?
Oh, massively, yeah. Like,
right.
I did not have a clue what I was getting into when I first started it, because I just wanted to do it just to enjoy it, just for me, and like giving it to the family and stuff as gifts. But yeah, more and more people are asking. Now I'm going into weddings, and and I love it. It's not that I don't like it. I absolutely love what I do.
The weddings bit, because we had a conversation, and it was, you were like, shall I, shan't I? And I said that, any chance you get to be in front of a human being, you get used to it, and then it becomes quite like a draw. Like, I want to do more and more and more, and suddenly.
Do you know the thing for me right at the very beginning was, okay, I was doing it for friends and family, and then I got asked to do a couple of fairs.
Yes.
I love talking. I love being in front of people. I'm a people person. That's why I'm into nursing. I love helping people, and I love doing all that. So when people were asking me to do fairs, I was like, don't know, like, this is now out of my comfort zone. Right. Yes, I can talk the hind legs off a donkey, but when it comes to chatting about chocolate and stuff right at the very beginning, I was like, nah, I'm not sure. But do you know what? You've got to step out your comfort zone sometimes. You've got to push yourself that little bit.
You're talking about a product, you're talking about your own product, and you're talking about a product and it's different. And I think everybody suffers that anxiety. I say to so many, I get so many messages of people saying, do you think I should? Or they're procrastinating and they're hesitating. And I always say, nothing bad's going to happen. It's going to be okay. You need to just enjoy what you're making and be creative. And we're always critical, our own imagination is so much worse than reality, right? And in everything we do, right? And that's my life as a chef. So for you, it's been, suddenly you're doing bits and pieces at home, now suddenly you're doing markets, and now it's wedding. And now you seem to be out all the time just being creative, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the whole thing about it, is when you enjoy what you're doing,
yeah,
like it shows. Like, if you don't, it doesn't matter what you're doing in life, whether it's chocolate, nursing, whatever it is. If you enjoy what you're doing and you enjoy talking about it and sharing with other people, go for it. Like, you might feel a little bit like, oh God, I don't want to do it.
People buy when they feel connection.
Yeah, Absolutely.
And I think with with COVID and the lockdowns, we all I think people like little communities got a little bit closer, so everybody knows what other people are doing. And I think people are more supportive. Certainly, that's what I found. People are more supportive.
Yeah.
They just don't necessarily always want to buy, but they are supportive in other ways. And I think that's the key thing. So you're happy where you are. Business is growing. You're going in the right direction. What's been the highlights for you?
Oh God. I would have, and this is without a word of a lie, this community.
Oh, Chocolatier.
Absolutely. Like,
yeah, I get some. I need to share some of the messages. Some of them are quite private, but some of the messages are very, very humbling that I get. That people that say like Friday nights just become my thing, and it's they can tell me the ones that I've missed, and it's only 2, right?
yeah.
And we do get, as a family, we do go out and we do go away, but it's always like, oh, and we need to be back for Friday, right? Or I can't go to that wedding at that time because I've got to be back at 8:30. It's been an interesting thing, and I kind of don't really feel like I own it now. It's like it's a thing, right? I just holding on to the reins and letting it go, right?
I love watching and learning from everybody else as well. It's not just about the Friday night. The Friday night is great because there's loads of people asking loads of questions, and even though somebody may be scared to ask a question because they might think, oh, that's a bit daft and that's a bit of a stupid question. No question's a stupid question if you don't know the answer.
Absolutely not. I think that the downside for me is that I can't share these comments because certainly what I've seen over the last few months is the conversations that are going on within, because I'm trying to read it out and keep up, but there's some there's some gems of stuff that are being shared, right? And I can't always share that unless I'm reading it. So people that play it on catch up don't get to see that, whereas people that are watching live can get to see all the comments and see all those pieces. And it's the knowledge. I think the knowledge, like if we can polish molds and we can shell and we can fill and we can do all those bits. Actually, what we're trying to find is those tiny little nuggets. Right, and it was what's this balling tool called, right? What's this? What do you use for that? They're the little gems, but they're hundreds of those little things make up this big mass of key skills, right?
Yeah. Like I remember way back in the beginning, I didn't have an airbrush. All I had was a paintbrush, some cocoa butter, and my molds. That was it.
I remember the paintbrush. I remember the airbrush day. But I remember the messages afterwards, and you're like, oh, "This is amazing. This is too addictive." And we've still got a Melange class, which is even more. If you think airbrushing's addictive, Melange work, nothing. You're just like, "Well, I'll just have another look." Before you know it, you've just been staring at this thing going round, and it is beyond addictive. What's your favourite bit of kit then? What's your obviously you've had to invest, right? Buy bits and pieces and to grow and do the volumes and all the other bits. Favourite bit of kit?
Favourite bit of kit? Well, other than what's up on my shelf, which is the same as behind your shelf, I would have to, you can't see it. I don't know why, but my background's all blurred out.
Have you got a background there?
But no, this is actually my room, but you can't really see it. Anyway, favourite bit of kit I would have to say would have to be my airbrush and my compressor.
Okay.
I've got my Melanger is sitting under my desk. It's not even been unboxed yet. Got it for my birthday. Thank you, husband. So I've not used that yet. But
don't tell Susie Floozy that.
Susie. Yeah, and do you know why? My airbrush and my compressor, because it saves a lot of time. There's so many different techniques that you can do with it. Yeah, your dotting tools and your little nail art brushes and all that stuff.
You still sponge. You can mix it up with all the other designs. It gives you, I think, it gives you a bit more variety to speed up production, right? Yeah. And make it a little bit more efficient. And you certainly plan a little bit more. So, favourite bit of kit is what would you do? So here's a big question. If you were starting again, what would you do different?
What would I do different? Oh God, there's probably so many things I would probably do different. Be more organised for a start. What would I do different? find myself a very good mentor right at the very beginning, because it saved so much time. What would I do different? That's a really hard one. Yeah, there's so many different things I would differently. Being organised. I kind of stumbled across you. Please
Yeah.
excuse that, but it was somebody else recommended you, and I was like,
There's a lot
"What?"
saying that. And they're like, you know, I obviously still do a lot of lessons, and the people are like, well, you know, I couldn't have found you a year ago. It's like, well, it just wasn't meant to be.
Absolutely.
You know, and I've got other students that have been, you know, worked with other chocolatiers who said it's just too complicated and I didn't get it, and now they're off on their journey, and it was just a different way. And you know, the neurolinguistics, you're just trying to find a way for them to absorb that.
Yeah.
So that they, you know, some people are visual, some people are audible. You've just got to work it out very, very quickly. That's the trick of teaching is, for me, who have I got in front of me? Same for you with the NLP. Who have I got in front of me, and what do I need to change so that they can start talking to themselves better? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you know how the other person communicates, how the other person learns, because
Yeah.
as you say, I'm a very visual, kinesthetic person. So I like to watch, but I like to do it at the same time.
Yeah,
Whereas
I was
other
going to say,
people,
you said visual. I was going to say, no, I don't think you're visual. I think you're kinesthetic. I think you need to see it first, then hear the theory, then be allowed to do it and have commentary afterwards, right? Which is fine. Some people just want to see it and then go away and practice, right? Others want to know all the theory first and then send me endless emails saying, is this right? It's like, no, that wasn't quite what I taught you. So,
yeah, everybody learns differently.
there are some really good comments here, actually. What's chocolate aesthetic? If Rupert E. Grant calls, let me know. Do you know some of the conversations in there? Normally, when I'm reading this out at night, I'm like, what's that? Have I missed something? It's quite hard. Can you see? You can see all the comments, right? So you can scroll through them.
Yeah, I'm scrolling back.
So we got people all over the planet right now. Loads from America, loads from the Middle East, people from India, somebody in Thailand there. Stuart's not in the pub.
Oh, disappointed.
Gosh, Stuart letting the team down. There's so many people here I know. There's Loney's in Denmark. There's people in Sweden. Mother Baker's asking about recommendations for eats down your way, or is that, I don't know. Nathan, who is in Cambridge, a lovely email from him today. What are the questions we got here? Who's got questions that want to ask Maggie and I something? I love
the accent.
Made me friends of here too. What I really like, you know, and I can see who's following who, right? And I think what I found really interesting is, you know, what we joke at the Chocolatier Chat crew. Actually, everybody's following each other, and it's kind of created this little community of goodwill, right?
Yeah.
And I know that separately people are messaging each other and sharing information and all learning, and the whole idea of this was to, I think to share some knowledge. Like, I'm not going to give everything away because I think some of it's a lesson, but there are some things that are absolute basics, and that information's out there, but it's not recipe, it's technique. How do we do it the same way every time? People struggle with technique. We can all, somebody said, Mother Baker's Mo said here, we can all ask each other advice that normally you wouldn't have access to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There is one thing I would say, though, that I get a lot of, you know, we talk about the procrastinators, right? The people that they just don't think that they can. And I think if I had one message, if there's anybody out there that thinks, you know, oh, I think you're talking to me, I am talking to you, nothing bad's going to happen. If you're really interested in this, just start. Get going with it. Get lessons. Find a coach. Talk to people. Have a look at the chocolate work is just lots of tiny little jobs done well. It's not one massive big task. It's lots of tiny little things that you have to do the same every time. If you're worried about people, you know, the anxieties is what will people think of my stuff, right? Family and friends are the most, you know, criticise the most, but they don't necessarily buy. when it goes to members of the public you don't know, it's like, you know, what are they going to say? We're very critical of our own stuff. I am, of my own stuff, right? And I have a lot of chocolatiers buy my stuff. So I've got a risk. And a lot of chocolatiers buy mine just to see whether at the... And I would expect all of them to say, mine are better if not as good as it. Right? Because if you weren't saying that, nothing would push you forward, would it? So,
Absolutely. I think that's a really important thing to say is don't be scared. Like, if you're scared, you're never going to do it, and if you don't do it, you're never going to know if you can do it. So,
and there's a whole group of people here that would help. And if they tune in Friday night, we're not all in this alone.
No.
I bet there's not one person in Chocolatier chat in that whole Friday night in the last year and a half can say, well, I never learned anything. And I keep seeing, you know, it grows, the number goes up. We've got 43. It goes up and down. People join, people don't join. Some people watch for a few minutes and then play catch up. I see the views on a Sunday and it goes from a few hundred views to 1,000.
Yeah.
So people are playing catch up or they want to listen again. And it's been great. I said I'll keep doing it for as long as people find it valuable. What I wanted to do is get some other people on and, like, how confident are you on answering the questions? Because you must be happy to now. Right?
But if anybody's got any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. Like, I've come from, like I said, a 30-year nursing career. I didn't know what I was getting into and fell into chocolate, not literally, well, sometimes. And yeah, I didn't know what I was doing, but I just started. And if you don't start, you'll never know.
Let me have a look. Let me see if there's any... Okay, so hi James, how do you make a caramel ganache? Do you recommend it? That's Jessica at Kind Hearted Chocolates. Jessica just got a easy temper, and to say it's a game changer for her is like an understatement. Chocolate, how would you make caramel ganache? Do you want to answer that one? Do you want me to do that?
You crack on.
Okay. So I took a basic caramel, which is a very, very basic caramel that would be a sauce. It'll be 200 grams cream, 200 grams chocolate, right? We'll make a dry caramel. We'd add the boiled cream to it. We'd make a normal caramel, but it's not going to be thick enough. So we need to thicken it. We've got an option of whisking butter in, which is double the price of chocolate right now. We've got an option of adding cocoa butter, which is flavourless, and unless it's mine, of course, which is generally flavourless. And it can go a little bit bruising. The best thing is that when you add the 200 cream to that 200 caramel, you end up with 320 grams of caramel. If you add about 90 grams of chocolate, it becomes a caramel ganache, right? So if you add butter to it, still a caramel. If you add chocolate to it, and now we've added chocolate to it, we can actually temper it. And if we temper it, we can speed up how quickly it sets. So the caramel ganache on my page, I use famously. I quite like caramelized chocolate gold, right? I like Zephyr. I just don't know why it has to be 9,000 drop, right? I just don't know why they make 5 drop. It's like sloshy water. I'm looking at it going, I'm gonna have to shell like 4 times. Like, no, I don't have time. If I make caramel, I caramelize chocolate to it because that just makes sense, right? But if you added milk, you get. I wouldn't add dark chocolate to a caramel. Too strong, too bitter. You need to add a lot of salt to tone that down. But caramelized chocolate works, and a light milk chocolate's kind of around about 34, 35. And caramel ganache is lovely, and you can add more chocolate to get a firmer texture. So if you were doing where Jessica does the bars, if she wanted, like, you know, the Snickers caramel, you know, the layer that's in between it, I would firm that up and probably do like 140 grams so that when you pipe it, it's got kind of some bite to it. Does that make sense? Caramel ganache, straightforward. Make your caramel, add chocolate to it. It's really, and a bit of butter if you want to. You don't need to add glucose. You don't need to add salt. Learn to make dry caramel. Because from that, we've had this conversation. From that, the sky's the limit. You don't need 200 recipes. You need the 50 recipes that you can
tweak.
Because it's not about 200 recipes, and it's not about recipes with 3 ingredients. that all sit on the shelf until they go out of date. Right?
Yeah.
I hope that's answered that. Somebody's asking, Maggie, what's your favourite flavour and your customer's favourite? That's a good one. That's Paula at Fusion Chocolate.
What's my...
a couple of weeks doing a hands-on, and I sent her a message today saying, get lots of rest, get lots of sleep, because this is going to be exhausting today.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. So what's your favourite flavour and your customer's favourite?
Favourite flavour of chocolate or filling? So
I think probably filling, actually.
Filling for me now. Here's a bit of a. I don't actually eat a lot of chocolate. I'll taste it. I'll sample it. Absolutely, I'll taste it when I'm making it. Absolutely, but if you were to ask me what my favourite thing was, give me a bag of crisps and a dip.
Happy days, yeah. Me, unsavoury. Cheese. I can live on cheese.
However, dark chocolate. If I was to have chocolate, it'd have to be dark chocolate. And I like kind of ginger and chili, kind of.
Okay.
So like a savoury kind of chocolate.
Okay, yeah. And what about customers?
Customers' biggest thing is salted caramel. They love a salted caramel. However, raspberry caramel has gone down.
Yeah, you make loads of that, don't you?
Yeah.
But you're in the land of raspberries, literally.
Yeah. Oh, on my doorstep.
I've cooked a lot of faraway places in the world, and we bring raspberries from Scotland specifically. And all my time in the Middle East, working in far off countries, it was always Scottish raspberries, and they are the best.
I would say so too.
They are the best.
We've got I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got about 6 farms. Obviously, they're out of season now, but I've got about 6 farms, right, literally within 10-15 minutes, so I can go and pick my own.
Okay.
Great.
Here's a question here, Maggie. You do cake?
Do I do cake decoration?
Yeah. Not at all. Okay.
I don't bake. I can't bake. Hats off to the bakers of the world. I can't bake a cake, bake a scone, a pancake, nothing.
I do patisserie. Is my favourite thing. I don't do birthday cakes. I've done it. I don't enjoy it. I can do it, and I think I can do it well. But it's just not something I enjoy. It's just too. What's the word? It just gets too intricate, and I zone out. Right.
I admire people that do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but not for me.
I don't. Yeah. I kind of. I'm quite infantile. I need constantly stimulating. Like I move on to the next thing very quick. Because by the time, like with the colours, by the time I've got the colour out, I've rehearsed it. I've done all the things. So once it's launched, I'm not bored and over it. It's like done. I move on to the next thing. With the cake decorating, it's kind of always like, I've got to finish that.
Not for you.
Just
move on.
So, not so bad. I like doing the patisserie though. I love doing all the petit gâteau. I don't do enough of it on the channel, but it's something I'm planning to do a little bit more of. It's something I really, really enjoy. And I can kind of add the chocolate element, what I've done over the years to it as well. And we got new equipment, new. So, JC saying, can I reach out to you two about this topic? Yes, you can. JC. Not a problem at all. I don't know what it was about, but. So Zoa Vitology, she makes some amazing stuff, right? What do you not enjoy about being a chocolatier?
What do I not enjoy? I don't think there's anything I don't enjoy.
Well, Matt, you're like me, Maggie. Do you know, when it gets negative, I'm too big. So I don't like. If I don't enjoy it, I don't do it.
Nah, absolutely not.
I like it. If I've got to sit up and spray and I'm not feeling it, I don't. I pack it all away and put it away.
Yeah,
but it could be 11 o'clock at night, and it's like, right, and I'll be here till 3 a.m. because that's just how I am, the creative side. I don't wait to see if I'm going to feel creative. I wait until I am, and then I do.
Much more productive.
There's nothing I dislike.
Somebody's just said the dishes. Well, there's always a downside, I suppose.
Yeah, well, don't put your moulds in the dishwasher. Well, no, you can without the cleaning tablet, right? Because that will ruin them. But yeah, dishwasher, I don't do that often at all. So Fancy Nancy's joined us.
Hi.
Who else we got?
Oh, question there. I can't see where it's gone. I've lost it now.
There's a lot of people here that I am going to invite on over the next, because Nadia I'd like to have a talk to, Nick I'd like to have a talk to, JC, Zoa, Kind-Hearted Chocolate. So many people here. Paula, Mother Baker, because she hates. There's so many people here that I would like to invite on over the next kind of.
And you know, I like that you're doing this as well, because we get to. Not a lot of people show their faces on social media.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice for people to see the face behind what we do. I don't do lives.
Yeah.
Hands up to that. But I do share
Are
pictures.
you not going to do a chocolate chat an hour before mine? No, you not. Is that?
No, I might do it at the same time.
Call it something else, maybe.
Oh,
I think you know, on that point with like people are afraid to. Like I'm no social media expert at all, but I can tell you what's worked well for me. People like seeing you do things. I think the day standard picture have gone. So just a photograph of your people grow past that. They like to see things happening. But that punching, spraying, they like seeing things that have gone wrong because they like the honesty. So if you drop something, where's the picture? People like it, all it does is draw engagement, and it says that you're human. People will buy when they connect, and unless they can see you and hear you, they can't connect with you.
Absolutely.
That's how we behave, right? That's how I think humans are. So if you're afraid to show your face, you can show your hands, right? You can put a mask when you're spraying. You can do it through a mirror. So there's so many options that you've got, but I think what you have to do is be comfortable
with what you're doing.
Just hold it and spray. This is me actually making them, right? Because there aren't many artisans left. There aren't. They've all disappeared behind industry, right? Where it's a closed shop, nobody gets to stay in. So people they like seeing pottery. People love seeing a lump of clay and just they do. Or artists drawing, people doing graffiti. People love seeing that. So a lot of the artisan jobs have disappeared. Chocolate still remains one of those ones. I've got a window here, and the amount of times I've looked up and I've got an audience of like the postman, the delivery guys just stood at the window watching, which I go like, I normally charge for this, guys, a lesson, so you want to, you know. Or my postie that's like, got any chocolate? Or worse, my EHO, the window. James, got any chocolate? Yeah. Coming in, or is it a visit, or what is it? People are afraid to show their faces, but you know, the big one for you was going to do the markets, wasn't it, and do the events.
For me, yeah, going out and actually doing some of them. But now I'm getting so many requests to do them now. I can't. I just physically I can't, because that's why I retired from nursing. I had to medically retire. So that's why I love doing what I'm doing, because I can fit it around how I am physically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't do all the fairs anymore, because a tough problem I have, I'm too busy now. I just can't do it. But I'm doing only one in November and one in December, because I still like getting out and speaking to people. Like I don't like hiding. I like to be in front of people. And that whole thing about social media you were saying. So I don't know if my little social media person is on here, but stories. If you don't want to show your face like this, show where you are, show what you're doing. If you're going for a walk, but have your voice. You don't have to put your face on the camera. But people like people, and that's the big thing, is if they get to know you, they get to know more about what you do. And yeah.
And we all have this anxiety of, you know, people like, you know, what if they make bad comments? What if they? Well, we can manage that. You know, somebody said things saying fix your tooth, and my answer then was, you know what, mate, I had chemo a few years ago. My teeth are short. I'm recovering. I'm getting better. That's none of your business. You're blocked.
Absolutely. And if people,
because you haven't got anything nice to say, just move along. Don't say.
Yeah. And if people, and I would say that to other people as well, if people do say negative things to you, that says more about them than it does about you.
Yeah. So
Walk
I
till you
don't
move
know.
on.
I always joke, you know, my hobbies, I'm a chef, my hobbies are shooting, fishing and arguments. So, and I'm quite well versed in the last one. What have we got here?
Kelly, I don't want to say, is it Was?
Kelly,
Kelly, yeah. On social media, it can be intimidating to be on video or any how-to reels if other chocolatiers follow you or you're a beginner. 100% agree. But nobody's being judgmental. Like, we're not being judgmental. We're there to help you. And if you've got a question or whatever, just shout out and ask.
I've worked in industry for 40 years. The hot kitchen side is brutal. You know, you get into the Michelin star kitchens, it's brutal. If you are a shrinking violet and you're a little bit, you're going to get picked on. You're going to get your knives nicked. And the kitchens I was in, it was fists, right? You did this wrong, smack. So those days have gone. However, the hot kitchen's very secretive and backstabby. In the chocolate world, I've never ever found that. I've never found it. And it's quite refreshing that I think the great part of what we do has encouraged graceful people.
Yeah.
So I don't find that. I've had a couple of comments, but in a year and a half, it's a couple of comments. So, you know, messages. And those, you know, when I look at what I did when I was in hotel kitchen, we were holding rosettes and stars and what have you, people go on TripAdvisor and write whatever they wanted, even though they didn't go to the restaurant. So you grow thick skin, but I've not found any of that in chocolate. There's a conversation I had with Chris Harvey. It's like, it just seems to attract really nice people, unlike the history world where it's still a little bit kind of. So the whole chocolate community is lovely.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. It is just, and you were saying about being in the kitchens in NHS. Yeah, there's a lot of bullies, a lot of horrible people, and I've not found any of that.
Wherever there's an opportunity for promotion, you will find the narcissistic. And whenever you find a position where you have front line staff and behind the scenes, you end up with elitism, which is one of the worst things. And I know we suffered that in armed forces. The elitism was ridiculous. 29-year healthcare, gave it up to do chocolate by myself. Who's this? Kelly. Haven't looked back, even though I'm getting going. So this community is priceless.
Well,
they are lovely. They are lovely. Everybody's lovely in this. So Paula's saying I was physio until July, gave it up to be a chocolatier. Do you know what? Absolutely. And Paula's kind of doing TV, the fusion chocolate. She's like on TV and stuff now. So I was like, why are you coming down to me? Shouldn't I come to you? So I think the whole clan are coming down. I think we're going to do like full on dinner here as well. So if anybody's been here and had lessons, the hands-on, it always ends up being a food fest afterwards. Like, we do food. That's our thing. The fridges, my fridges in the house are bigger than the fridges I've got here. So I'm built for comfort, not speed. So I think that's important to know as well, right? So what other questions have we got? So Kelly Wessel, chocolate aesthetic. Kelly Wessel, art chocolate, studied law. Oh yeah, so Jack Ralph studied law and then moved into chocolate. So there is something there, isn't there? The amount of students I have that are doctors, lawyers, dentists is quite surprising. The amount of dentists that I have students that are chocolatiers is
wow.
We've got loads of questions here and I can't get to them. I'm trying to read these. Share all your taste, Maggie. I don't have a sweet tooth. That's Mother Baker. Oh no, Chris and Mother Baker have started, everybody. Yeah, we've just gone 9 o'clock, so they've started. Happy days. And it begins.
Golden boxes. Wow.
Trying to find the questions. Disky patisseries there. Sean, who's in New Orleans, saying, yeah, doing the dishes. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, washing up sucks. I tell you what sucks more than anything. Washing those. Oh, you might be able to see these new designs that are coming up, actually. That one is the red tech.
Ooh.
Washing those molds when you've got when they're no chocolate, the worst thing ever, right? Where is it?
Oh, absolutely. And the darker the colours, the worse it is. Ooh.
It's not ready yet. I've got to do a bit of testing, but that is it's called red tech, that one. But yeah, washing up. I mean, I use the Thermomix a lot. That's just yeah. I'm going to buy shares of Berry Liquid. Trying to find some questions. Where have you got? Somebody just said that's what spouses are for.
Controversial.
Whoa. That sounds like fighting talk to me. What's your favourite thing to do or make in your shop? Have you got a favourite chocolate you like making?
Have I got a favourite chocolate?
Yeah, have you got a favourite design that you like doing?
Oh, design-wise. Oh,
Yeah.
I just like trying different things. And like, I don't do the same thing all the time because. So
you do collections like I do.
Not yet.
So how you? So you're always changing what you're doing.
Yeah, so I do to order, which is maybe so like for special anniversaries, special birthdays, like golden weddings, like special events. I'll do weddings. I'll do chocolates for occasions, and 9 times out of 10 they want 12 or 24. So they want a couple of boxes. So it's worth my while doing it. Will I show you the ones I did for the wedding?
Yeah. Somebody said here, folding boxes is the worst thing.
So this is my little boxes that I did for the wedding. Jesus
what you want
Christ.
to do is get 3 daughters, right, with really nimble hands.
I have 3 children, but they've all moved out. They've got their own lives.
And then they try and charge me £1 a box. I'm like, they didn't even cost me that much. How can you kidding me? I've brought up entrepreneurs who are now like ripping me off. So, what were you saying?
You've taught them well then.
Or not, depending on who side you're on. Here comes one now. Yeah, show us those ones because I think I saw those earlier.
So these were for a wedding I did, and this was used, and I'm back to front, I think. Oh no, I'm not.
They're lovely, those, aren't they?
So
they're a big mould, those, aren't they?
This is a really big mould. So this is a 5 centimetre diameter mould. Oh, look at that in the back. That looks quite good.
Oh yeah, look at the capping. Only chocolatiers and chefs look at the cap, right? I told you that. Otherwise, is that the bonbon police at your door?
Oh, wait a minute, I'm going to get my hat. Yeah, this is
trousers on and move my table pointing north. They're lovely, those, aren't they? So you're laying the tape in those. Right, yeah.
So I use Canva to do the initials.
Yeah.
And then you have to switch it, turn it round. So you've got to mirror it and then print it and then take it all out, stick it all in, do what you've got to do with it and then take it all out. The only thing with taking it all out is not scratching your molds when you're taking them out.
Oh, right, using a scalpel edge to...
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't... The cry cut doesn't... Pre-cut, crop, whatever you want to call it. It's... to stick it down enough, you end up using a balling tool to get it flat, right? Or
I use a cotton bud.
Or cotton buds, right? And then you can't lift the thing out. I get these little tweezers, right? Which help lift those out. But taping is a lot of because I know I seem like I'm quite patient.
That's a one-off. I don't do that all the time. I love spraying. There was another one that I did.
Yeah, I love that one.
So
you set the pressure a little bit low so you got splattered there.
So that one was at 20.
Yeah.
That one was at 30. These ones were at 20.
Yeah, happy days. Yeah, lovely.
I say 30, 20 and 20. 30 and 20.
30 and 20, yeah.
It's just, I like just experimenting, and I've got a few trees in my so one of the shops that I stock chocolates, they're getting Halloween ones next week.
Right.
So I've just done a batch of Halloween chocolates for them. So I'm going to put some Halloweeny kind of flavours in. Pumpkin caramel.
I've done a Halloween collection. But that's for the event that I do. I've not put that online for sale. If I'm honest, you know, you get those times where you've just got too much going on, and it's I'm not going to say the chocolate's given away, but the chocolate for sale via online I've had to like, and it sold out. So I've got enough for the events that I've got going on. Otherwise, I'll be in here 24 hours a day.
Yeah. I'm now not going to be taking very many orders because I'm doing advent calendars this year, and I sold out of advent calendars before they even know what's going to be in them.
Right. Okay,
and which is brilliant, absolutely. And then I've already got Christmas orders, so I'm not really going to be doing a huge amount of as and when requests because I've got so much to do.
Yeah. Here's a good one. Here's a good question. Not experiencing fondant fillings. Do I beat it on slow to medium speed until the right consistency? Will it continue to crystallise once you stop beating it? I don't know if you've made much fondant, so okay, so I'll answer this one. So we would take the sugar up to that required temperature, or the sugar and glucose syrup, and bring it up to temperature. We put it into a mix and we beat it. Do it on a fast speed until it turns white, and then slow it down to medium. Okay. The more you beat it, the stiffer it gets. Okay, with fondant. So, and it's no different to when we used to do it on the tables. You keep turning it. The more you turn it, the more you break those chains. The more oxygen, so it becomes whiter and whiter and whiter, but it gets firmer and firmer and firmer. If you continue beating it, it doesn't crystallize. Well, it does. It over crystallizes and it just sets solid as a giant ball. And you'll end up with where you have the whisk attachment. All the fondant will be on the inside of it, and it'll just be trying to hold on to the table. Beat it fast to start with, and then slow it down. When you've got it consistently you want, stop. Okay, put it into a piping bag. And it'll be out. That was Ron's bonbons. What other questions?
ECS chocolates. Hey Maggie, hello. What does your working week look like as a chocolatier? Stunning one. Thank you. That's for a wedding that's for tomorrow. What does my working week look like? So Monday, Tuesday, I'm my grandma, so I look after my granddaughter. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is chocolate.
Okay. I'm trying to get you well ahead of me. Have I not been keeping up with you?
How do I keep such a cool man?
Every night, isn't it? I try and do Chocolatier chat, and I just sit here scrolling. And everybody's like, "What's happened to the old man? He lost it." I just, but everybody's writing it. I'm desperately trying to scroll through, but not lose anything. So I'm at the bit where everybody's talking about your bonbons. So I'm like 8 minutes behind. So I don't want to miss any. For the fondant, yeah. Ron, for the fondant, use the dough arm, not the whisk. I would start it off on a whisk, and then once it gets pale and white, I would swap over to the dough hook, and then just do it that one slowly. So,
Sweet Love Artisan Chocolate. That was not Midnight Galaxy. It was Midnight Blue and Fool's Gold.
Oh, the one that's yeah. Midnight Blue. Midnight Blue is just the straight blue, with nothing in it. So it's just one of the prime colours. And then the Galaxy has got gold and silver in it. One is a sparkle, the other is a pearly chrome. So yeah, they're the ones. Are you enjoying using those? I've got to ask.
No, I hate it.
They're a bit easier to spray with. Because you've tried. I don't want you to say, not the other brands, but a lot of people have said these are a lot easier to spray with. They were done and designed with spraying in mind.
So, for working with in general, I've found them so much. I've tried 3 other brands, and I won't name who they are. Watery, like the one I especially noticed is the black.
Yeah.
Like black was ridiculously watery.
Wouldn't stick.
Wouldn't stick, wouldn't set.
Yeah.
And yeah, sorry, you've nailed it. It's these are so easy to work with, so easy. And
They were designed, and you know, we did a lot of experiments. We tested so many different things. We went through so many different butters. We spent a fortune getting to the point where we knew they were right. They had to work for me. But the reason I had to wait for that copper and bronze was the flake. I knew that the bit that the addition that we were using was too big to go for an airbrush. And if I can't get it to work, you guys aren't going to get it to work. If it doesn't work for you, what's the point of making it? And it's back to this thing, flavour. If it doesn't taste absolutely amazing, what's the point? Well, that was my other thing with the butters. It's the first layer that you taste. So if they don't smell nice, they don't taste nice, they're not going to be nice, are they? So it's been an up and down ride. It's been big steep learning curve. But I think, you know, that one is colour 37.
that is glorious. Has that got like pearlescent in it?
No, well, so this one's a new one that's not on the market. So I'm not going to tell everybody what that is. It's a form of mica.
Oh, right.
And then there's another one joining it, which is called. So this one's red tech. There's another one that's chameleon. We're going to call chameleon, and it's all 4 different colours of prime. Right. So working on that. Just working on the volumes of that. When I shared the picture of this earlier, I so nearly gave away the 2 experiments on the top that I'm working on with the notes. And there's a whole sheet of paper with all the volumes, right? And I looked at it and went, that was, because that is, that's new to the market. So that's not anywhere. I'm the only one that has that.
That looks grand.
So it's a rather nice, it's a rather nice red, but it's not sparkling. It's not pearl. It's almost in between. So
Nice.
pearlescent colour, but it's a lovely interference. But for that one, because of the volume we put in it, you'll be able to spray directly, or use it behind like ripples or fades.
Ooh.
So I want it to be able to do both, right? And I want to be able to paint with it or dot with it. So it's quite a big ask in terms of getting it right. So there's a lot gone in the bin, but it's worth it to get right in product. It'd be very slam it in there, put it in a bottle.
Nah, then you wouldn't be happy with it, and then other people wouldn't be happy with it.
I don't do that. I made this chocolatier. I made this for chocolatier mind, and then anybody has had issues that's had to come back, and I'm able to say, take it to this temperature and it will work differently. Spray it at this temperature and it will work differently. A lot of people on the bottles, it's got an A, B, C, D on there. I'll pick any bottle that's got the right label on it. On the back of it, it will say that it's type A, B, or C. And the next lots of packs that go out, I'm going to put a description in there. So there's a little flyer coming out that's got a description of what that is. And it'll give people a bit more insight on to get the best from them with that.
Nice.
Where we go. Let me see. Is there anybody more questions? That's the quickest hour ever, right?
Maggie, you have. Oh.
Uh-oh, what happened? Did we lose? Who have we lost? We lost Maggie. I'm just going to try and read some of these out. So, I don't know what happened there. We lost Maggie. I don't know. Let me see. She froze. She did. She'll come back to us, I'm sure. Maggie's up in Scotland, so Maggie is up in Scotland. So I don't know if she's going to come back. Maybe the internet dropped. Let me just see if I got a I've got another request there. Let me add that in. I think she's going to join us in a second. So, internet drops out. I live on an island. There we go. Where'd you go? You ghosted me. That's twice in one night. You ghosted me, Maggie. There are rules. You're not talking about chocolate world being nice.
Right then, take that right back. I'm going. Goodbye.
So
I ran out of battery. No, I'm charging. Look, charging as we speak. It was by I pressed the wrong button. I left by accident. So.
Do you know what I said? You know the question earlier is like, is there any bits that you don't like? I do a lot of teaching, and I mean, like I did a group airbrush class this morning. Not everybody gets Zoom. Not everybody knows to put themselves on mute, so that when they talk or ruffle, the screen goes blank and no one can see anything. And the amount of plugs, I mean, if you could see the things I've got in the corner, the amount of stuff that I have to have plugged in now, and the lighting, and what I've had to learn about IT, it's not chocolate, it's the other stuff, right? So setting up a website, doing photography, which I suck at. You know, some people have got very good cameras and they can get really, really shiny chocolates here. Good technique, but also good camera, right?
Do you know, somebody asked a question there. I can't find it now because obviously I skipped out and then skipped back again, so I've missed out all the comments. Somebody said that I have really good pictures. Do I have a setup? I have a table. Yep. I'll show you my setup.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. I
have a table, I have a light, and I have backdrops.
Right.
That's it.
You can edit. You can edit. Now, one of the best things I got this year, we had to spend a bit of money, but I've got the most powerful iPad you can get, and they ain't cheap. But for all my lessons, people can see me, I can see them, I can hear, I can do all the bits and pieces. And I kept trying to work on my phone, and it's like this isn't working. And people are saying I can't see, I can't. And if I wanted to truly deliver what I wanted to deliver, I needed to invest. An investment is a tough one in business because you're like, with IT, there's no return on investment. If you buy a melter, speeds up production. If you buy, dehydrator, speeds up production. When you spend it on IT, kind of like, where's the return, right? And this is the thing with photography. You can go mad, right? But you can do most of it on your phone with good lighting.
That's it. I just use my phone, and I've got one of these. I used to have a big ring light, but the tripod thing on the bottom of it just got in my way. So I've got this little light now, which is great because it's got a big telescopic light. It's got 2 different lights on it, and it's portable. I can take it wherever I want. You don't have to spend a lot of money.
My lighting, I don't know if I can turn the camera around here. I don't know if it will show. My lighting is. Will it show me? No, can't. Stems in the way. My lighting is a giant square thing sticking up in the air. It just can't. Yeah, the lighting is crazy.
That's mine. It's just tiny. It's not even the size of my hand. Well, it's about the size of my hand.
Yeah. But you need the kit. And do you find you take a lot of footage of everything?
If I let you scroll through my camera roll, it's my granddaughter in chocolate. That's about the size of it. It's full of chocolate, and even taking pictures of things that I don't think are maybe relevant just now, I'll be able to use them in the future. So I don't do anything.
Do you ever look back at stuff a year ago and go, oh, what was I thinking?
Oh my God, did you see a post I did a couple of months ago? Oh. And I went, the only reason to look back is to see how far you've come.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started, and I look at those and I'm like, oh my God, how did anybody want to buy them? People loved them. I thought they were a load of but you've got to start somewhere, and you've got to learn from where you start.
It changes, and it changes, it does in food. I look at my time in restaurants, and we were holding heavyweight awards, right? with the Michelin Guide and rosettes and what have you. And I look at the food from them, which was quite cutting edge, and we were doing some clever things. But I look at that food then going, oh my God, what was I thinking, right? But that then I thought was really cool. I think that we're overcritical of ourselves, but we just got to keep moving forward, you know? There's always new techniques, there's always new designs, there's always new products, and always new ingredients. I bought some tonka beans here, which I haven't used for years. So I'm going to do a little video on how they're used, because a lot of people don't, they've heard of them, but they don't know how to use them. And it's, with the price of vanilla just going out off the roof. I'm like, if you wanted to make money, just buy a vanilla farm, right? That's how you're going to make money right now. We're always investing and always moving forward, but not too far forward. Because if you go too far forward, I think, going back to the lessons, I always go back to tempering cocoa butter, and I find it doesn't matter how professional they are, that's the bit, when that bit goes wrong, all of it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Especially for bonbon work, because it's that first layer, isn't it? And the photographs, it's like, you know, what you were doing a year ago, it was good then, but you've moved on.
Yeah.
And you've progressed. And I think the phrase was, don't look for perfection, look for progress.
Absolutely.
You need to keep getting lessons. You need to keep getting advice. And advice and lessons, it could be Chocolatier chat.
Mm-hmm.
It could be just joining here.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lovely chat with Basic. He's in Australia, and he's an absolute flavour monster. His Basic chocolates, he does some flavour combinations you would never think of doing, but they make sense, right? And he's an absolute flavour monster.
Did you do a chat with him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the guy with Beatles?
Yeah, and I got as much from that as he did, and it was just like tonight, it's just a chat on what's happened and where'd you go, and you've reminded me that I need to get out and do the face-to-face with people, and that I need to, having you come on, I sit here every Friday and it's a blank screen of just words and me, and I'm not going to suggest it's lonely, but it's nice to see the humans on the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
It's I know we have conversations anyway, but it's nice. My aim is to get a few more people on just to share their experiences of what they've done, because everybody seems to be learning from this, and it's just growing and growing and growing, right? And I've never ever been interested in likes, numbers, follows.
Don't give a monkey's.
Don't. It can go up 100 and it can go down 1,000 in a space of an hour. You're not in control of it. You can't do anything about it. Don't worry about it. It's not important. What's important is the content and the connections and how you interact. And it's social media, which means being sociable.
Yep, 100%.
For all the people that don't like showing their faces, you can still be sociable, and you need to answer, and you need to do all those bits and pieces. So it's 9:30.
Woohoo!
Is there anything you wanted to ask me?
Is there anything I want to ask you? Can I move closer, or could you move closer to me so I can get one-to-one?
We want to visit Scotland. We do. We want to come up there. So I've a lady that owns a fishing hotel.
Ooh,
Hi, big girl. So we may go up there and visit. But I've been around the world. I've been very, very lucky to travel around the world. I have been to Scotland twice in my life, and I loved it both times. So I think we would like to head north at some point. Can't tell you when. Not in the winter, that's for sure. But
not cold here. I don't know why you say it.
No, it's not that. It is. For my wife, Ranny's from the Middle East, and the girls are kind of, you know, just warm-blooded, right? So for them right now, it's freezing. It's taken Ranny 10 years to acclimatise.
Oh, bless.
So, no, I'd like to get up there in spring. I don't want to go in mozzie season.
We don't.
You don't, do you? That's on the west coast, isn't it? I've been to Balmoral, but I cooked in a kitchen, and I didn't leave, and I got back onto an aircraft transport, came back to London, went back to my army job. So I saw out the kitchen window at Balmoral, that was it. And then I went to Aviemore. So,
oh,
yeah. So, It's Costa del Aldershot. So I think we will plan a trip up that way at some point.
Always welcome,
I
James.
think and I'll there's a few people that I'd like to kind of go and visit, and people that I've kind of connected with, which we will do, no doubt. Also,
Somebody
yeah.
asked a question about retail.
About what? Retail?
Yeah, the cost that you give to retail.
Discount retail, was that one?
Yeah.
On chocolates,
Yeah.
you need before you start giving discounts, you need to know what their budget is.
Yeah.
Right. I don't go in with discounts. I think for me personally, I know how much mine costs and I know what my break even is. Okay. And I will split the profit, the difference, right, between them and me. I don't make them to lose money, but also I don't want to make mountains on it. With the butters, I'm using the most expensive cocoa butter you can buy at the highest yield rate. So that ain't cheap. And then I'm using the purest colors you can buy, also some that I have to have made. So I don't make a huge amount of margin on that, but it pays for itself and a little bit, right? So I can reinvest. The tough one with retail for chocolate is you need to know what their budget is first. And if you go in too low, they'll bite your hand off. If it costs you £1 in business, you need to sell it for £4, right? So at retail, at manufacturing, it would be 15%, but actually when it's a made product on food, if it cost me £1, I'll be looking to sell it for 180. Right, so I get the £1 back and I make 80p, but I'm not going to make the £3, right? So the other thing about retail is it's the peripheral. So does that include the packaging? Does that include the time? Putting boxes together, lengthy process, right? If I can send wholesale stuff in bigger packaging, bulk, I will do that. If it's weddings, I'll suggest maybe you want to get the bridesmaids together and have a night before, bottles of champagne, put it all together yourselves. It just lowers my time commitment, right? I think it's business. I don't think there's any hard and fast rule to say sell it at this price. You need to know what your cost is, and you need to know what you want to give it away for.
Yeah.
Right, and only you can answer that.
Yeah.
My price is different to yours, Maggie. And everybody else on here, it's different. You need to know what is it costing you to make this, and that's everything. You can have a guess at heat, light, electric, time, all the rest of it. If you're self-employed and you're working on your own, time's a different one. If I work a 20-hour day, it's for me, right? If I had employees, I don't want them working those hours because I paid them, right?
Yeah.
So I don't consider me paid hourly. Does that make sense? But the wholesale, you've worked it out because you're busy and you're charging, and it's as long as you know what your cost is. Everybody's chocolates are different. Every site, you do bigger ones. Other people, the packaging changes. There's so much to it. I don't think there's a hard and fast rule when it comes to retail or wholesale. You need to know your base cost and what are you willing to give it away for to get your money back and a little bit more. And they're worth having, right? They're worth doing, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're worth doing because it will tick over product and stock. And if you put chocolates into a wedding, it's 100 people. There's a potential 100 buybacks. Yeah. You get your label in there, your business card in there. People, if they're amazing, which they should be, who made these? There's the card, right? You should be able to get a bounce back.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't, then that needs factoring as well. How many am I giving this to? If it's for 10, it's not wholesale. Just buy chocolates. If it's 200 or 100, is there another opportunity there for me? And this is business.
Yeah.
What else could I get from this, right? What else could I, right? I'll supply, but can I meet the wedding coordinator?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, because 2 weddings that I've done, the wedding coordinators have contacted me as well to ask for other things. So it's like you say, it's not just where you put your chocolate. My label goes on the bottom with my ingredients, my name and my contact number. Always.
Oh, I've had them that said, no, we don't really want you to put your business card in. And my answer was always, well, the law says I have to.
Absolutely.
So it needs a label and point of contact and a consume by date. And the law says it's got to be there because it's pre-packaged direct sale, right? So
Yep.
get around that anywhere you want. Right, I'm going to go. I'm going to go and find some children and see what they've done, whether they're watching TV still.
James.
It was really lovely to catch up with you tonight. I hope everybody that's watching, I'll post this on and tag you. I'm sure everybody found it useful. I think we can talk about some interesting stuff there. I'll catch up with you in a week because we need to do Melanja stuff. Yeah. Have an amazing week. Thank you for joining me, Maggie. I really do. I've known you quite a while now, and we talk a lot. And a lot of what you've posted has inspired me as well, actually. So don't forget that. It's not a one-way street. I'm inspired by the amazing people that are doing things with the product that I make, and that was the anxiety. Is like, are they going to like it, right?
And I think for me that is so true as well, as watching everybody else within the Chocolatier Chat crew, what they're all doing. We all get and gain inspiration from every single person that's here. So if you're just starting out, follow everybody that's in here because you'll get amazing work.
If you've just started out, keep going. Reach out. If you're sat in the back procrastinating, saying I want to, get on with it and fall back in love with the thing that you started enjoying at the beginning, right? It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. There's going to be great days. There's going to be crap days. Tomorrow's a new day, you know, and if it's not working, there is a whole group here that you can go, hey, do you know what, this happened? And I think most that are in this on Friday night, if you message them, they would answer, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to go. Have an amazing evening, have a lovely weekend, and I'll speak to you really soon, all right? I'm going to post this on now. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.